Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock Review is thrilled to have on a world-class guitarist and composer, a founding member of the hit band Night Ranger, Brad Gillis. Brad, thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Hey, man, they made me do it, Eric, so I'm here.
Well, you know, I was telling you before we started the interview, I'm used to seeing you at the NAMM show and, you know, in Anaheim and everything, Anaheim, California each year in January, and you and I are usually frequenting the same guitar areas and pedal areas. The only difference is you actually get to go on tour and play with Night Ranger, and you've got a brand new album out also, your guys' 12th studio album.
Yeah, it's such a blast to have something new coming out. And, you know, with this downtime with COVID, you know, with the 16 months off, we decided to get in and write a new record for Frontiers, our label out of Italy, and started out with Zoom calls between Jack Kelly and I. And we just came down with the foundation of all the music, and then ended up basically passing the files around to everybody in the band, everybody do their thing. Kelly went into a big studio in Arizona where he lives now, and was able to do some great sounding drums for the record. Once we had that, we just had fun passing around and come up with ideas and just calling each other and, hey, let's do this and that. And Kerry Kelly, the other guitar player, we got together to come up with these killer harmonies on songs like Breakout, the first single that came out that's on YouTube. And August 6th is the actual release date for the record. And it's that 3-month downtime when you finish a record, Eric, that you got to sit there and wait for it to come out. It's like, no, you want everybody to hear it, but you got to be patient and wait for it, to come out. And then, so we're looking forward to the August 6th, the release date.
Well, you know, and I got to ask you too, Brad, it's such an interesting album. And you and I were talking, you know, being a huge fan of Night Ranger for so many years, and your work in general with Night Ranger and Ozzy and so many other artists and everything. But where did you guys come up with the title for this album and the band Played On? Because automatically when I think of that, I thought of the Titanic, the band on the Titanic that was still playing as it was sinking. But where did you guys come up with this name?
Because we were still playing when during COVID, you know, and the band played on, you know, basically instead of sitting back and just waiting for everything to, you know, start back up, we went in and we did a record, and, you know, and the band played on, you know, so that's where that kind of came about. And everyone's, you know, they don't understand what the, you know, the ATP and the band played on, you know, I got to explain to them what it means, you know, but, it's what we went with, and we're excited to have something new out. And I got to tell you, man, the shows have been coming in crazy for us. We just did Rockfest on Cadott, Wisconsin. That was like 20,000 people, like 10 bands a day. It's just crazy.
Wow.
We played with Styx last weekend, you know, and then we got the Kiss Cruise coming up.
I saw that.
And we got, you know, all kinds of other big shows happening and festivals. And then we just booked Japan for 2022.
Wow.
That's exciting. And now we're doing 4 shows in Tokyo. We've always been big there, but whenever we release a new record, they have us come over like 6 months after the release, which is happening. And it just keeps getting, well, it's always been big over there, but, you know, to do 4 shows in Tokyo this time is killer. Then, you know, you go on to Osaka, Nagoya, Fukuoka, and the other cities and play all over the country. But then we have the Sweden Rock Festival.
I saw that.
Summer of next year, opening for Guns N' Roses. And there'll be all kinds of bands. That's another 3-4 day festival. So it's all good. I'm just loving that this band's still working and rocking, and we'll celebrate 40 years next year too, Eric.
I can't hardly believe that, because I remember when you guys hit the scene, because the band launched in 1979, and obviously the huge success, you know, kicking off from that and into the 80s and everything. But you guys have always stayed working, generating new music, and talking about this new album as well. There's so many great tracks on here. And you and I were discussing, you know, back to the early days even, and today, the dual guitars, but you've got your share of acoustic guitar work and everything in there. And your skills, you know, on stage, you know, seeing you guys live, you're still having just as much fun with Night Ranger as you were back in the 80s, Brad.
Yeah, no, we're still having fun. And then, and here's the key about that, Eric. We're not touring for 3 months at a time on a bus, you know, a bunch of dudes on a bus. You know, that kills you. We call it being weekend warriors, we call it. So basically we play on the weekends. Maybe Thursday, Friday, or Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Usually fly home Sunday or Monday. We're home. I'm always usually home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays to get other stuff done because everybody's got other things going on. But that gives you the chance to decompress and just want to get back out that next weekend. So we call it we're weekend warriors.
It's a smart way to do it, but also, like we mentioned, with Japan and with the world tour and everything, and obviously still here in the U.S., you've got a giant fan base that wants to hear, your hit song, Sister Christian, all these great songs, but also wants to hear the new material. And then yourself, I know we got to go down this rabbit hole, Brad. You're constantly working on new guitars and new pedal boards, and it's nothing unfamiliar to see you on guitar magazines like Vintage Guitar and Premier. That is a beauty.
Isn't that gorgeous? It's an aluminum guitar that's hollow, right? And I go in, my buddy Peter Kellett, he anodizes these guitars. They're all one of a kind.
Wow.
Everyone is one of a kind. Now, Peter ended up being in the aluminum anodizing business, and he would anodize everything from pick guards from Fender to paintball guns to parts for NASA. In fact, he has the American flag and a NASA logo that's anodized like this on the Mars rover that's on Mars right now.
Wow.
So he does these guitars, and I take them and I do my number on it, and I fill them because they're hollow aluminum. I ended up filling them with this condensed thick foam that pockets all throughout the guitar, that kind of solidifies it and gives it a great tone. So that's what I'm working on now, piecing it together, fun stuff like that. But as a vintage guitar collector, I'm always looking for guitars too. I was up in Anchorage, Alaska, talking to the promoter. We were playing the next day. I think it was Lita Ford on the bill, a couple other bands a couple of years ago. And I asked the promoter, hey, anybody in town selling any vintage guitars? He said, yeah, there's this mom and pop store. I'll give you the guy's number. Call him up. And I call him up. He goes, yeah, Brad, I got a couple things in my rafter. I think I got one of those old 50s Strats up there. It's like, ding, right?
Oh my gosh.
I went and saw him and I go, what condition do you think it's in? He goes, I don't know, probably, 6 out of 10. I'm thinking, it's going to be beat up. But if it's original, it's still worth, still could be a great guitar. I pulled it down. It was just dirty. It had gunk and crap from sweat and everything on it. And I pulled it apart and it was all original. I cut the deal with the guy, went down and gave him cash for it, brought it home. It's worth twice as much what I paid for it. And once I cleaned it up and did my number on it, it's a 9.8, Eric.
Oh my goodness, Brad. That's ridiculous. Well, and I know also with your pedals and with your amps and everything else, you're just a consummate professional, Brad. And I think that's why I enjoy seeing you, on tour, and out on the road, is because you just enjoy it. I mean, but I got to ask you, how do you keep this passion for what you're doing with the music and with Night Ranger 40 years in? Because, you're just as excited as you were when you started with it.
Well, let me tell you, I got on stage last Thursday night playing Rockfest in Cadott, Wisconsin. There's 20,000 people there. And with them looking you in the eye going, wow, not only them getting out of the house after being, locked up for 16 months, just like digging what we're doing. I mean, that exudes back to us. I mean, all of a sudden we're going like, oh man, this is a blast. And then the next night we play with Styx. And Tommy Shaw gets up and we do High Enough, and he's Tim and Jack, singing it. We're Night Ranger playing it, and it's exciting moments like that keeps keeps you excited and keeps the fun happening.
Well, and especially to be able to create music during a pandemic and come out with it, and then you're ready to tour. And obviously, people like myself, it's like we're ready to come to shows. We're ready to be out there and see and appreciate live music again. And I think a lot of people, Brad, took it for granted before the pandemic. It's like, they'll come back through town. Catch them next time. I don't think people are doing that now. I just like with the multiple shows in Tokyo, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be there every night.
Oh yeah, we got multiples people coming, 3, maybe all 4 shows, so that's why we change up the set when we go to do multiples wherever we're at, especially in Japan. Last time we were there, we did 3 shows in Tokyo, all 3 sold out. But with our diehard fans, we changed the setup and we'd reach back to, you know, some of these deep cuts off the first couple of records that people know that weren't actually singles. And it's awesome because, you know, not only do the fans dig it, we like playing something a little different. You know what I mean? Kind of exciting.
And I was a fan of the deep cuts, you know, back, you know, and I know with this new album that is available, you know, digital, you know, and also on CD and vinyl. But, you know, back, you know, I've still got my early Night Ranger albums, and it was just great being able to find those deep tracks that maybe weren't radio hits, but the musicianship and the songs were just incredible, and they deserve to be played and heard.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, they're all pretty good. We don't put it in the set unless we feel it's a good song. Now, believe me, we've had a couple turds on the first couple records that, you know, that we don't play live, which we kind of had at one point when we were doing both records at the same time. But, you know, but we pick out the ones, you know, that we like to play live that the fans will probably enjoy, you know, like just like the Rumors in the Air. I mean, love playing that song.
Yeah.
You know, with the delay in the front and stuff. And, you know, just different songs we don't usually, you know, Eddie's coming out tonight. That's always a blast to play.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know, Touch of Madness, we've been starting the set with that. But now that we're putting Breakout, the new first single release that's on YouTube from Night Ranger from the new record coming out.
Right.
Started playing that live. We've done it a couple times now, and it's just so up-tempo and fiery that people are just loving it. I mean, hey, you know, I mean, it's exciting for us to play because it's something new. It's twin guitars. It's that, you know, it's that whole, the whole Night Ranger philosophy, which we've kept the same, is twin guitars, harmony solos, trading off solos, the three-part big harmonies where you got Jack Kelly singing, usually me on top or down below.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of the times, you know, Jack sing a verse, Kelly sing a B section, all come together for the chorus. I mean, that's the format that we've used since day one. We're still using that. The only difference between back then and now is the production is much bigger and better. You know what I mean? The sound quality and the output of the records are just huge because you got to keep up with the Joneses and you know, you want it to hit your face. You hit yourself in the face, you know, when you hear it. So we're looking forward to the new record, August 6th, and we'll probably throw a couple other new songs in just to pump the record, whatever. And then we're looking for a great rest of the year. We're looking pretty good.
Well, I want to make sure too, Brad, that our viewers know where they can go to, you know, to keep up with everything Night Ranger, with the upcoming shows, just like the one you're going to plan to come to Nashville. I want to make sure our viewers know how to find everything with concerts, the music, the behind the scenes, even videos and pictures of your guitar rigs. Where do they need to go?
Well, of course, nightranger.com and Night Ranger on Facebook. And in fact, there's something on Facebook now. It's like the fans of Night Ranger page, and there's all kinds of great stuff on there. But you know, just punch in Night Ranger, you'll get everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, Breakout is an incredible single and video, and I love all the songs on this album, and I'm sure our viewers are going to want to go and download it, although I personally recommend still get the vinyl. Vinyl always sounds better. Brad Gillis of Night Ranger, I got to thank you so much for coming on the Rock Interview.
Thank you, Eric. My pleasure, my friend. I got 3 more interviews today, and then I'm back to building this guitar, so thanks for having me, my friend.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, take care.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.